Hey, this is Matthew, and welcome back to Nerd News Today, and it's time for another wrestling figure review, but not just any wrestling figure review. This is the long-anticipated, and certainly going to be the most highly sought-after WWE Elite figure this summer, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So this is the Series 77 Elites Summerslam edition, and Bray here is a perfect figure to add in that SummerSlam collection, because after all, the Fiend debuted at SummerSlam 2019 in a match against Finn Balor, where he basically just squashed and destroyed him completely, and that began the Fiend's reign of terror throughout the company. This is a devilish looking figure, and let's get started. The packaging is the same as all other WWE Elite figures, with the exception that this is in SummerSlam colors, which means it's orange and blue instead of the typical white and red that we'd normally see. We've got a nice window display, which shows off the Fiend and everything he comes with. We also get a look at the Fiend on the side right there. That's a pretty frightening picture of that Tom Savini designed mask. And an in-ring picture of the Fiend right there. You can see him in action. On the back, we get a bio about the Fiend, as well as a look at who else is in this wave. And this is another pretty strong wave. Again, we're getting another AJ Styles, and he's one of those guys that's basically in every wave. If it's not Seth Rollins or John Cena, it's AJ Styles now. But this wave also has WrestleMania-style Ronda Rousey, a Viscera with the Hardcore Championship belt, Ravishing Rick Rude, Miss Elizabeth from that infamous Hogan Butt Squeeze edition, and the Fiend who we're looking at today. Now the bio, as we mentioned, has some of his stats, includes a few of his career highlights, and also has a one-sentence description about the Fiend, and basically reminding us that this does in fact come from SummerSlam. And unlike other Elite figures, where there's usually a lot more wasted space, there's a nice little SummerSlam logo underneath the picture of the Fiend, and that kind of helps just fill that area up a little bit, which is kind of a nice touch there. It looks like there's less blank space. I like that. But there's only so much we could say about the Fiend and his packaging, so I think at this point it's time to take him out of the box and let him in. And here is our Bray Wyatt now out of the packaging, and my god, this is insane. You know, I'm gonna admit to you guys, I was almost not gonna buy this figure. And, you know, it's not because I'm like not a super Fiend fan. I like the Fiend, I'm a big supporter, but I didn't know if I was really super into the toy yet, despite how cool it looked. But I kind of caved into peer pressure and was like, yeah, you know what, I'll get it. It looks pretty nice. Now that I have it, I regret nothing. This is, wow, this is stunning. I mean, there's so much to talk about here. You know, I'm a sucker for tattoos, and he's got tons of those that look amazing. Outfit's great, head is great. Let's just get started here. So that head sculpt, if you can call it that, is nuts. So this Fiend head here has got the Tom Savini mask on it, and that is a frightening looking face. I mean, wow. And a amazing paint job. It's grimy, it's scary, it's got the colors that are just fading in and out. The eyeballs especially, oh man, those eyes are intense. I think they look better in figure form than they do in real life. And that hair too, I mean, I can't talk enough about that hair. Yeah, I think a lot of folks might think it's supposed to be darker, but keep in mind on TV, a lot of times when you're seeing that hair, you're also seeing it under dramatic lighting, and this is basically more natural how it would look if you just saw him walking down the street one day. But it's got great texture and really stellar paint job on it. You know, what I like about it especially is, again, mentioning that face has kind of like the grimy, faded look as well. There's kind of some nice weathering and some transitions in the hair color. It's not just one flat color, it's several colors layered on top of each other. That's some excellent painting. The body is a completely new body sculpt for Bray Wyatt, and it's been a long time coming that we get one that accurately represents his body. And that's gotta tell you something right there. The fact that they're investing in completely new tooling for pretty much only Bray Wyatt. He's most likely gonna be the only figure to have this body type. And, you know, tooling a figure costs money. And for them to actually go out of their way to do this, that means they've got some confidence in him, they've got some confidence how well the toy is gonna do, and it really is about time they got a new body type, because Bray's barrel-chested body is pretty unique compared to a lot of other guys in wrestling. Now let's talk about those tattoos. These tattoos are just insane. So let's talk about paint job, and along with paint job, that includes tattoos. So we're seeing his hands as well right now. I left those prints the way they were out of the box, just so you guys can see the detail work on these as well. You've got hurt and heel on each of the hands. And I'm actually just gonna go ahead and put his arms down so you can see all of the detail work in the tats. Because, man, let me do it like this, I guess. Yeah, you gotta basically open up his wingspan so you can see everything on him. But look at all the detail work on those tattoos. I mean, this is tremendous work. And I am a tattoo sucker. If you saw my Aleister Black review, you know how into them I am, and how much I appreciate a good tattoo on an action figure. And, you know, I thought that Aleister's were amazing. I gotta say, Bray's might be even better. I mean, there's so much color and so much detail on them. It's pretty amazing. If you're a tattoo fiend, pun intended, you're gonna absolutely love this figure. There's not a single misprint either on any of these things. Like, everything is the way it should be. Looks like it's going to stay on for a while. Just very strong paint job, very strong decals, whatever they do to get that on there. So let's talk articulation now. Let's see if he also has full articulation like all the figures. Looks like he can move his head left and right, up and down. Ball jointed neck, ball jointed shoulders. He's got the bicep, swivel, and an elbow that bends. So this bicep is actually a little stiff in there. This one is also. So you might need to go, if you have a stiff figure, just get a blow dryer or some hot water and that'll loosen up eventually. The wrists, of course, left and right, up and down. Torso, this is going to be stiff. Feels like, oh yeah, stiff torso. Turns left and right. Huh, surprisingly pretty flexible actually. You know, I've seen other figures that have had big bodies and they have trouble kind of doing the splits. This actually isn't that bad considering how big he is. So going back up there, he has, yeah, thigh swivel and double jointed knees, boot articulation, and the ankle. So yeah, you can pretty much get him into just about any pose you need him to get into. Now I think there may have been like a design on Bray's chest, in fact, when he had that match at Summerslam, or it might have just been like a texture on him, I'm not entirely sure. So that could be a thing that's missing. But otherwise, pants are 100% correct, the boots are correct, of course the gloves are amazing, and the mask as well, exceptionally done. So top to bottom, great looking figure, great looking piece so far. Now the Fiend also includes 2 additional hands. We're gonna pop those out right now. That's one of his accessories. Because as if getting a figure this good looking wasn't a treat enough, there's more to him. So we have 2 different accessories here. And these additional hands are open hands so that he can hold on to his other accessory, and that would be this right here. This is the Bray Wyatt head lantern. Wow, how bizarre is that? So it's kind of got a little bit of a soft plastic handle on it. Let's see, I don't know which hand is better for it to get into. I'm gonna just try and get into this hand. There we go. So yeah, the handle is a little bit soft. That means you have to work for it a little bit to get it in. Once you get it in, I mean, it's totally in there. How frightening is that? That's like the perfect accessory too. And again, just great detail on that. Sculpting is great. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty frightening. It's just another really scary addition to this already pretty frightening figure. There is one kind of weird detail about him though, and that's right here with his belt, and the fact that this belt is not sculpted on, it's just painted on. And for a figure that's got so many new parts, it's kind of interesting that they chose to go with that. So I'm going to assume that means that piece here for the crotch area is basically recycled from another figure, or they're going to use this in other figures if it hasn't been done before. And this just to kind of keep it more evergreen and to be able to be used in more figures. So that's kind of weird, but not a big turnoff at all because the paint job is fairly clean, fairly nice. And even if that does fade away, it's just going to be the silver part that fades first. So it'll just look like he's wearing a giant singlet. There's really not much more you can ask for with this Fiend Bray Wyatt figure, because it's got the spare hands, it's got the Bray Wyatt head lantern, it's got all the tattoos, it's got the creepy, scary mask on his face. Everything about this is pretty much perfect for a first-time Fiend figure. And that's kind of the great thing is the Fiend, he's pretty toyetic. He's going to have a lot of toys of himself. I mean, I'm pretty sure that we're going to get at some point Bray Wyatt of just himself in the sweater these days. There's going to be, I'm sure, many variants of the Fiend in his look. There's not a ton of differences that have happened, I don't think, but it's still just so toyetic. We're bound to see more things. I mean, we're going to, I'm sure, at some point get his championship belt version as well. So there's going to be Fiends for days, but I'd say for a first entry, this is a perfect 10 all around. You really can't beat this figure. So at the end of the day, this really is a don't miss figure. I'm so happy I didn't skip out on it like I was originally going to. What a fool I would have been if I had skipped out on this guy, because really, he's absolutely worth getting. He's going to be, I think, probably hard to find this year, though. I'm not really sure still. I'm not sure how many he is per case, but he's going to be really, really sought after. That's at the very least for sure. And I think really you need to add him to your collection right away. So in other words, let him in. So I'm Matthew, thanks for watching this video today. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here, so you can check out all the wrestling content we do along with all the many other videos we have here on Nerd News Today. And until next time, let me in.